Good day, puppy lovers. Today I have a Coton with me, Coton de Tulear. So sit back, relax, and enjoy some of my tips and tricks. Okay, so we're gonna give this little one a nice little wash. Always important to really saturate the pup really good with the water so that the hair really accepts the shampoo. Right, for those who don't know me, my name is Jenn, professional dog groomer since 2010. And welcome to my channel if you're new. So today I will be giving this little one a 13mm cut. And first off, of course, we're going to give him one shampoo. Sometimes I'll give two shampoos, but he gets one. He's not too dirty. You'll notice that as dogs get older, when you touch them, sometimes they'll, they're a little more, I don't know how to explain it. I guess they're stiffer and can you hear them? See? You can hear so you really got to come in there and be nice and gentle with the rubbing. Don't press too hard. Their muscles hurt, I guess. There. All right, he's nice and ready to dry. First, we're going to check out his eyes. For those who are interested in watching a full groom, I have those. If you join as a member, I have full grooms there. I still have other full grooms that are on my channel, but I decided to start doing the full grooms only for my members. So if you want to become a member, all you have to do is click join to become a member. So this little ear here needs a little bit of love in the sense that I'm going to shave some of this out here. It's got a lot of hair in there. See, shaved it all out, all gone. You shave the other ear. So I want to be sure to add some alcohol to my little shaver here before going in the other ear. If he had an infection, I wouldn't even chance it. I would probably just use the second one. But the alcohol is pretty good. His ears are good. So there you go. There you go. Guys, if you're finding any debris after the bath, like you've washed, but it just doesn't seem like it's all gone, you can come in with your little flea comb here to just kind of get rid of some of that debris. And, or just pull a little on it. It doesn't mean that you have to pull all the way, if it's knotted, you just stop, just pull a little just to get it away from the skin. And then I'll come in and I'll cut some out. But I'm also going to use a baby wipe. Oh, here's a baby wipe. We'll use half of it because... Can I get half of it, please? I usually can do this. What's going on? Hang on. That was one tough baby wipe. So I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to clean his bum with the baby wipe. Of course, you're cleaning at the bath. Try to get rid of most of that debris you're cleaning, but if ever it doesn't all come out, you can just do this once they're at the table. Just be sure to wipe it off well and clean your tools. I'm cleaning it with alcohol. I'm just going to let the alcohol on there and let it dry off. So let's dry this boy. All dry. Dry. Let's get these toesies done. As usual, I'm using the 30 blade for his little toes here. You want to shave this because you don't want that hair. It's slippery when they walk, right? If there's too much hair there, and they can end up with mats and skin problems, dirt. built up dirt, smelly feet, skin infections. So that's why we got to take this hair off of their feet. So if you have any foot questions, feel free to ask. Just leave the comment down below and I'll come in and reply and help you out the best I can. See, whenever you do find a mat, because there is a mat here, mat it up as you see. Well, if you're using a 10 blade, you can go and scoop that. I'm not using a 10 blade. I am going to come in. You can use your scissors as long as you're not catching any skin. You got to be careful. And some dogs don't like to be played between the pads like that. Usually I'd go in with smaller scissors. My smaller scissors, they were of no use anymore. So I had to ditch them. So I got to get myself another pair. But you really just want to go in nice and lightly. And if you want, you can also use the clipper, but use a 10 blade to do some scooping. If you can use the 30, but it's just, you got to be really careful because they got tendons here and that could bleed. So I really suggest that you don't use too much of a blade that's too close of a shave. So I'm going to talk about brushing for a moment here. I haven't talked about it in a while, so I guess for the new viewers, I'll just explain how I get my brushing done. So see, we have this slicker brush, which is very scratchy. When you're brushing your dog, you just want to tap and pull up and away. We have a tendency to want to just brush downwards like this, but you know, like how we brush our hair. But when it comes to brushing hair on a dog, you don't want to be scratching the dog with this because you'll be causing what they call brush burn. So just tapping. That's the way to get the brushing done. You don't want to hurt the puppy. Look at that tail. It's got such a beautiful tail. Nice and thick. So this boy gets a 13 millimeter. That is the orange Andes comb, number 1. That would be a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to give him a 13 millimeter cut. Here, sit. Sometimes when you just rub the back here, it'll cause them to sit. Instead of pressing and pushing down on the dog, just kind of tickling the back end here can help them, just on their back above the tail. Can help them just sit down. And I see these pups every, I think it's 6 or 8 weeks. I'm not sure. When I say these pups, it's because I have 3 with me. I have 3 Cotons with me. So yeah. And that's a lot of hair growth. Their hair grows pretty fast. We go down all the leg. Some people ask me, because sometimes I just drop off like this and I don't do with the clipper all the way down. I just find it's too bony down here. So I'll scissor the rest. You can also come in and clip all of that, which I fluff up again and I'll do again. Sometimes I don't do it. Sometimes I do it. It depends how I'm feeling. And see, he's got really tiny legs here. So it makes it shorter. You can, if you want, you can just clip less, and then when you shape it with your scissors, you really decide the width of the leg that you want. But they live out in the country and they like their hair pretty short without it having to be completely shaved off. And they like to play outside, so we don't want, the longer the hair is, you know, the more trouble it is, in the sense that it gets, you know, really dirty and of course smelly and dirty. And of course we have trouble with knots. See here, watch this. I'm going to show you how I do this. Okay, so hang on, I'm just going to finish this part here. Just get the sides. All right, so if you're looking at, see, I actually like the width of the legs like this. I would probably just come in and continue clipping this, skim off over here. And I think it's a little more balanced like this. But since they're out in the woods, I'll clip it all off and he'll have a thinner leg. You know, I can just clip it off also with my scissors. That's just how I do it. So see how much thinner that is? I'm going to come in and cut all of this here. So fluffing everything up and we'll continue moving on. A nice 16 millimeter for the head. That is the yellow, and this comb, that's the 0. And that would be 5/8 inch. I'm gonna get these little toes here. You gotta be careful around anything that's the extremities, like toes or the nose or the ears, because that they will bleed a lot. And what happens is if they bleed a lot, you know, it's hard to stop the bleeding. So if that does happen where it's just a nick or something, like it can just be a small little nick and it'll bleed a lot. All you do is you use styptic powder. You get yourself some styptic powder and keep that next to you, just in case you clip a nail, you clip a pad, an ear, a tongue. Accidents happen, guys. These little ones, they're moving a lot. I call them moving canvases. It's hard to paint on a moving canvas, right? Can you imagine? So you're using scissors, you gotta be sure you have your styptic powder. So this is how I do the back of the dog's legs. Just bring everything to the side, fluff it up, and I just bring everything down. I come in with my scissors and I go all the way down to the table. See that? All the way down to the table. Then I need to come in and curve some of this. You can either use your curves or you could do it with your straights, if you're comfortable with your straights. So that's how we get that nice and straight. Now I want to be sure not to forget the inside part here also. Let's take your tail out of the way, honey. Let's turn you here. Come here. Let's show everyone here on the inside. You need to straighten everything out on the inside also. Going all the way down. Hang on, hang on. There, nice and straight. See? You want to get the inside of the arm here. Yes, we did shave, but you want to get rid of all of this here. I shaved under the arm, but the side of the arm needs to be shaped. Like that. Now see how rusty these feet are? Now that's caused from licking. He's been licking his paws. And paw licking can be it can be different things. It can be a bad habit. It can be boredom. It can be anxiety. It could be allergies. So first you need to see with the vet, if ever you have a pup that's doing that, if it's your dog, you need to see a vet to find out what they think the cause should be. If it's just a boredom thing, often we'll try to when you see them do that, you either give them a chew toy or chew, or for them to chew on, you know, either rawhides or, you know, things to just chew on, and give them something else. Or just go walk your dog more often maybe. Walking your dog can help with that too. Can help them tire them out, and then they'll, instead of playing with their feet, they'll just go to sleep afterwards. Or just playing with the pup. But sometimes I know you may be at work and you can't always be there. You got the kids, or you have other responsibilities. Well, if that happens, you just need to be sure to maybe give the pup something to play with, to chew on. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it just doesn't. And if it doesn't work, you just have to accept that your puppy may have rusty paws. As long as it's not causing any infections or whatnot. He has knots in there. So those paws, they end up staying wet. And because they're wet, there's a bacteria that actually, it's the bacteria that causes that. It's the saliva, the bacteria, just staying wet all the time. It just rusts those toes. But he's kind of cute with those rusty toes. You got rusty toes. You may also find a rusty bum. It's got a little bit of, that can either be because the dog is suffering from some sort of diarrhea, often regularly, or it can also be because the dog is licking in that area. And often if they're licking in this area, it could be because they're having trouble with their anal glands. And you can have compacted anal glands, and that's an issue in itself. If it's compacted, it can burst, and then it can cause infection and whatnot. So you got to keep an eye on it. It's not easy when you have a black dog. You don't see as much. Sometimes you can see there's like a brown and the black in those areas. So let's just flag this tail. Isn't that satisfying? I find it so satisfying. So when it comes to the face, often you may find some knots in the face. So what I like to do is just, hang on, I'll use these instead. I like to just cut through those knots first. And then I'll do a little bit of the brushing afterwards to see if I got all those knots out. Because if you're cutting some out, you're minimizing, see, no knots. You're minimizing brushing, and you're minimizing the dog being annoyed with you. So let's see this side. Let's see if there's any knots on this side. Oh, he's good. He's good. I got him out. Okay. But yeah, for sure, if you're cutting out, instead of just brushing it all out, try to, like, if there's knots, you just kind of pull this up and away from the face, and then start doing your cutting. And then after that, check to see if there's any little knots. If there might be little knots, you may just be able to come snip a few out. But it really does help to not have to, you know, do all of that face brushing. Dogs just don't like that. Around their mouths, they're just so annoyed with that. So I bring you guys content every Monday and Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. And if you enjoy my content and it's helped you in any way, the best way to thank me is to just click that subscribe button, like button, and maybe even leave me a comment. There's another way too, if you want to thank me even more, you can join my memberships now, and I upload every Wednesday, full grooming videos, 0 edits. So you can come join me there also. And another place you can join me, if you feel like it, is my gardening channel. I have a brand new channel, guys, where I am sharing my huge garden that I am creating in my yard. This is going to take me a few years to build, but I've got a lot going on over there too. So that is at, if you want to visit, it is Backyard Gardening with Liz. So if you're interested in that, you can join me there also. And there's this new hype button. My God, there's just so much that YouTube came out with. A new hype button. That also helps my channel, you know, smaller channels like me, to get noticed more. So this is the results, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. So till then, take care and bye for now. Bye!
Hey there, pet parents and grooming gurus. If you enjoyed my tail-wagging transformations and want more tips to keep your furry friends looking fabulous, just hit that subscribe button. Remember, every click helps spread the love and lathers of grooming joy. Subscribe now and let's embark on this fluffy journey together.